Hello Stampers, Kelly Acheson at astampabove.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin. Thanks so much for joining me for this video. Today in the Color Fusers blog hop, we were given a challenge to use these 4 colors in a project. And we've got Grapefruit Grove, Blackberry Bliss, Tranquil Tide, and Mint Macaron. We can also add neutrals to that color palette, but we must use all 4 of those colors, and this is what I came up with. And I was thinking as I was looking at this card, I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I think it's just super cute. But if I were to look at this, I think, oh my lord, that is so much work. It's really not. Let me show you my technique for using a bunch of dies like this to make it super simple and quick for you to create. I think you're gonna like what I have to share with you. Let's get started. I'm gonna bring in my cardstock layers first. I've got crumb cake that's 5.5 by 8.5. That's our card base. I've got some of the Tranquil Textures Designer Series paper here, and this really is a fun set of Designer Series papers. You've got a whole bunch of really cool options here. Let me show you the different patterns. They're just really neat. They go along with the whole under the sea theme. Beautiful colors, some great designs. Okay, I chose the one that has the mint macaron in it because that was one of the colors that I had to use. And then we've also got this one that's a mixture of mint macaron with the Tranquil Tide. So there I'm satisfying that. This layer is 4 by 5.25. This one is 1.5 by 5.25. And then I've got the Blackberry Bliss because that was one of my colors too. This is 1.75 by 5.25. I've got an inside layer here that's 4 by 5.25. And by the way, you'll find all of these dimensions on my blog. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you go down below the video where you see more, I'll have a link directly to my blog that'll take you right to the post about this. It'll have ordering links in it if you want to order anything. I always appreciate your orders. And it'll also show all the products I use so you can see all the ink colors, and it'll have the dimensions on there. I have a scrap of crumb cake, a scrap of Grapefruit Grove, scrap of Tranquil Tide, and a scrap of Whisper White. So let's get started making this card. I know I said that this looked like it was really complicated and a lot of work, but I am going to guarantee you that the way I do it takes all of that out of it. Okay, so I'm using the Sea of Textures and the Under the Sea framelits. This is just the funnest little set of framelits. And when I sit down to create a card using a bundle like this, what I like to do is I like to get all my stamps mounted so that I'm ready to roll with them. I don't have to mess around getting out blocks and taking this stamp out of the case and so on and so forth. So I have them all mounted right here. The second thing I like to do is I like to choose my color palette, which was chosen for me in the Color Fusers blog hop, right? And this was our challenge. And I like to take my dies and just die cut a bunch of stuff. And as you can see here, I use this netting, which I think is my favorite framelit. And I've already die cut it on crumb cake. I'm going to bring in my die cut brush and show you just how wonderful this works with an intricate die like this. If you leave your die right on your cardstock, you can be really aggressive with this little brush, and that will get out all the little bits and pieces. And look at that. I've got 1 still in there, 2 left, and they just pop right out. I can't get my fingers on it. There we go. There we go. And this is ready to roll. Now, I keep this in the box. You can also put it like in a paper pumpkin box. That works really great too. And I just clean off my pad, set it right back in there, leave the bits in here until it gets fuller, and then I dump them out, and I can keep everything in here with a paper piercing tool because that's the tools that I need when I use this the most. Okay, now that we have this done, here's what else I've done. I've taken all of my dies with the exception of 2 that I need to use right now. And I've just die cut some of the things in the colors. This one I stamped and die cut. I just die cut a bunch of elements, and this is how I created my card. So I'm just going to set that, well, let's set that right over here. I have a tiny bit of stamping to do, and I'm going to take the Blackberry Bliss ink and stamp my octopus. I love this little octopus. I think he's the cutest thing ever. And that's going to go on my Whisper White scrap. There's my octopus. And then the other thing that I wanted to do was take my designer series paper. This is going to go on the front of my card, and I'm going to use these fish. And I'm going to die cut these fish right in kind of the top right corner. So let me bring my big shot in. I've got my magnetic platform in here. I'm going to add my octopus, and I love that this snaps right down on there and holds it in place for me. There's my octopus. Here comes my designer series paper with my little fishes on it. I want to make sure they're going the right way. That would be a colossal failure, right? Just going to put that right on there. Make sure everything stays in place and die cut these 2 pieces. Okay, my octopus is all done. That just pops right out. Everything looks great on him. I love how it cuts in between his legs so that it's very intricate, but you didn't have to fussy cut it, right? And we're going to pop this off. Look at the cute fish. Love that. All right, now, I could put this right on my card front, but I didn't want my fish to be tan because, I don't know, it's just not really that attractive. So to make them pop, I'm just going to take a scrap. This is about 3 inches long of the Tranquil Tide, and I'm going to put that behind my fish, and that makes it look a whole lot better. Just going to set this down and bring in my little fish. Make sure I can't see the edges of that Tranquil Tide. Doesn't really matter if it's straight on the back or not, as long as you get that covered up. Then we're going to come in with our designer series paper. Remember, this one was 1.5 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to add this to my Blackberry Bliss. Let's see if I can get it straight here. That looks pretty darn good. I'm going to add this to my card front right over on the very left side. Make sure everything looks good here. I see that it's running over just a touch on the bottom. Just going to trim that right along so that's cut off straight. And then I've got some burlap, and I don't know, but burlap always kind of reminds me of sea. It goes along with the whole sea theme. I'm just going to tie this in a knot, and I actually like this side of the knot to be showing because, I don't know, it just kind of, like I said, it gives me this feeling of sea. I think because of the great big ropes that they use to anchor the, fishing boats. I've never been on a fishing boat, but I have been on some cruise ships. And oh my gosh, those ropes are like huge. But that's what burlap reminds me of. So I think that's why I like it. And we're going to cut that off here. I always like to use real tape when I'm working with ribbon, or in this case burlap, because I know it's going to stay in place. It's not going to fall apart. All right, we have just a little bit more stamping to do. I am going to grab my Tranquil Tide ink pad, and I'm going to stamp some of these long, tall, leafy things right up the side here. And I just thought these were really cool looking. Just like that. Then we're going to start assembling the rest of our card. So let's get our card base on here, or our card front on here. Put this right on our crumb cake base. Already I think this looks like a winner to me. Oops, I got it just a little bit crooked. And that's what I love about the liquid glue is the wiggle room that you get. I don't have to tear it apart if I need to reposition it. And that's why I love liquid glue so much. Okay, that looks a lot better. Okay, now I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of my octopus, and I'm going to put 3 of them on because I want him to stay secured. There we go. And now I'm just going to kind of give him a dry fit. So first of all, before I forget, I'm going to grab my crumb cake ink and I'm going to sponge the edge of this sand dollar. This sand dollar I think is so cute, and I don't know what it is about sand dollars, but I really have like a soft spot for them. For some reason I just love them. And I'm not really sure why. Except that they're super cool, right? Okay, I'm going to add a little dimensional to the bottom of my sand dollar. That's what's going to hold it in place when I get ready to put my octopus down. Now I'm just going to tuck everything in behind. So here comes these pieces. I've got my netting. My netting is going to go just right here someplace. So here's what I did. I just took my glue bottle and right in the middle of my net, I just scribbled it back and forth. I don't really think that you need to do a whole lot more than that. And I am just going to tuck that under my burlap and put that right down here. Now, if your fingers get a little sticky, wipe them off before you go any further. We don't want to have any disasters. And again, I'm just going to set my little octopus down here and I'm going to start gluing things in place. So here's a green thing. And I just want to make sure that I'm getting it in here far enough. That looks great. This isn't rocket science. You can just put it in there till it looks good. I just wanted a touch of this Grapefruit Grove sticking out, not too much. I was just happy that I could work that color in because that's kind of a different color to put on a sea life card, right? Then I'm going to kind of work this one in over here. Okay, everything's looking great here. And I think I'm ready to stick my octopus down. Now, because I had all of my little pieces die cut ahead of time, that made this super easy. So like I said, just take your dies and die cut them in various colors and then see what you have to work with. Remember, I just put that one dimensional on the bottom of the sand dollar. The sand dollar is just going to kind of go over here. That dimensional is right under here. It's going to hold it in place. Then I'm going to grab one of my little centers from my smaller sand dollar and put that right here. That adds another little pop of that color there. And then let's do the inside. We've got this greeting that says, "Have a wonderful adventure." I'm going to stamp that in my Blackberry Bliss. I need to get my labels inside my ink pads here. That's on my agenda for this week. This week is catch-up week. I just had my big used stamp sale. Holy cow. I've been super busy the last few days. So I am going to get caught up on all the things that I need to do. Okay, now I'm going to take the Tranquil Tide and this net, or I don't know what you'd call this, but it's just a really cool image. I'm going to clean that off, and now I'm going to stamp it in the Mint Macaron. Let me clean that off a little bit better. I'm just going to move it up just a little bit and stamp it again so you can see both of those colors coming through. And then I've got my crumb cake here. And I love this net stamp too. Not only do I love the net that you can die cut, but I love this net stamp because I just think that's really cool. And then we are going to put the center of the big sand dollar we put on the front, and this looks kind of like a starfish. I'm going to put that right here. This is the inside of our card. And as promised, once you have your stuff die cut and your colors picked out, this was a really easy card to make. Like super easy, right? There we go. What do you guys think? I think I did pretty good with this color combination. I was a little unsure of it at first. I'm like, oh my gosh, how on earth am I going to get that all together in one? But I think I did it. Thank you guys so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend with me. I really do appreciate it. If you need to place an order, please click right up here. That'll take you to my blog where you'll find an online ordering button in the right-hand column. There's also a host code in that right column. Please use that if your order's under $150. There's special perks to everybody that orders with me, but if your order's over $150, you'll get some Stampin' Rewards from Stampin' Up, so I don't want you to miss out on those. You'll also get special perks from me. Don't forget to click down here and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You don't want to miss anything I have coming out. I just released an online class using the abstract impressions. That's also on my blog. Click up here. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I always appreciate your comments, your questions, your suggestions, your advice. I love that too when you share with me because I love sharing with you. I love when you share back with me. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I know this was one of the first stamp sets that I needed to get because I just thought it was so stinking adorable. I plan on using this card to send to my stepdaughter and her kids because we're going on an adventure soon that involves Florida. I'm excited about that. So I think I'm going to send this to the boys, and I think they'll really get a kick out of it. Don't forget to go back to my blog where you'll find the Color Fusers blog hop. You can hop along with us from blog to blog and see what everybody else made with this color combination. Guys, have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.